23, Psalms chapter number 23. Let me tell you about the story right quick. I had planned on preaching something different, entirely different this morning. All week long, ever since last Monday, Tuesday, one of the two, I was preparing for last Sunday, and it got to be Thursday, and I realized, I don't have to preach Sunday. We got homecoming. So I just kind of put that message back in the corner, and I said, I'll pick it back up Monday and pray and see what God where God would lead me to go with it. And all week long, I kind of felt peace, but I didn't feel peace. Like that wasn't exactly what God wanted me to preach. And for any of y'all know that teaches or anything knows that God will speak to you when and give you what you need. But sometimes you're under the impression that God wants you to do something else, but then He changes it at the last minute. Up until about 10:30 this morning, I was going to preach that other message. And I got down there thinking I couldn't get peace. I said, God help me, I can't do it without you. And about that time this verse comes to my mind, which I heard a fellow quote it this morning, and it comes to my mind, and the Lord started dealing with me, and I said, that'll be next Sunday. I said, that'll work, and we'll do that, and go on. And so this morning, about 10:30, sitting down there in the office, the Lord changed my mind, just like that, and I was like, wow. I don't like it because I don't have time to prepare and make notes and study it out. So do y'all know what my notes are this morning? I wrote down just a few little things, and that's all we have for our notes this morning, which I'm going to follow the leadership of the Holy Spirit, which that's the best thing to do anyway, and you speak exactly what He wants. So if you have your Bibles, turn to Psalms chapter number 23. We all know what Psalms chapter number 23 is. A lot of people think that Psalms chapter number 23 should only be used in funerals and at graveside services. But if we would look at it, and I believe I've preached on Psalms 23 before, and I preach around a little different point of what we have. I'm just going to break it down and preach on it. But if we look at Psalms 23, we could use it for an everyday life verse that we could live by. We have a guide to go by that we could feel assured and reassure ourselves if we would read Psalms 23 daily, that we would have comfort in knowing the Good Shepherd, that He is with us, that He's going to comfort us, that He's going to take care of us. Because so many times we get out of Psalms 23, we get more focused on the valley and more on the shadow of death, and we get all tied up and down in the valley that we don't realize what verse number 1 said. It said, the Lord is my shepherd. And I'm here to tell you this morning, if you're a born-again child of God, God is your shepherd. And do you know what a shepherd's job is? To keep his flock in line, to keep his flock in check, to guide them, to lead them, to direct them in the way that they should do. You know what? God has called Nick Fox to Congaree Baptist Church. I am not the shepherd. I am the under-shepherd, because there's one greater than higher than I am. But I'm here to help keep the flock, keep the children of God in line and walking on a right path. And the only way we can do it is by digging into God's Word and learning what God's Word has for us and realizing that the Lord is our shepherd. Until we realize that He's the one that calls the shots and He's the one that guides the way, we're never going to be anything. We're never going to do anything. And when we get out of our own will and get in the will of God, then we will go where God would have us to go, because He is the Good Shepherd. I'm here to tell you this morning, verse number 1, I can preach the Lord is my shepherd all day and all night and keep right on rolling. But the Lord is my shepherd. He's the guy. He's the one that's in control. He's the one that calls all the shots. We all know what a shepherd does, and we all know in the Bible of what the shepherd's job was. When one went astray, what did he go and do? He went after that one, and he left the what? 99 back here. And when he went to get that one, he picked that one up and loved on him and said, I got you. I'm taking you back home. You can come back home now. And he put him back. So many times us as sheep, we're like that one. We go astray. We get off the right track. We get out of the flock. And we go and do what we want to do. And we say that, oh, this is the will of God. God would have me go and do this. Honey, if you're mad and you're doing something, it is not the will of God. I can promise you that. A lot of people say they leave the church because they get mad. Honey, it ain't the will of God if you leave a church because you're mad. God will have you leave at peace. Amen, preacher.
Amen.
And this is being recorded, and I hope some members that's left Congaree Baptist Church sees this video. I encourage them to watch this video, because when you're mad and you leave, it is not the will of God.
Yeah.
You never see God's wrath or anything, or see God's people angry and do something and not suffer consequences.
Amen.
When you have peace, when you're not angry and you leave, you'll have peace. And you'll know exactly then that it's God's will to do something. Because people realize and forget that the good shepherd, that the Lord is our shepherd. They forget that it says, I shall not want. I shall not want. What does that mean? To have no need of nothing. Not to want anything. That I shall not want reassures me, gives me the assurance of Philippians 4:19. What does it say? My God shall what? Supply all my needs, is what Philippians 4:19 says. I'll read it, all of it. But my God shall supply all your need according to his riches in glory by Christ Jesus. That even sounds better, because it added in there his riches in glory. And I'm here to tell you, when I get to glory, I'm going to have all of his riches. The Lord is my shepherd. People need to realize that he's the guide. People need to realize that when they're in the will of God, and when they're doing the perfect will of God, and when they're doing what God would have them to do, they will not want. They will not try to find other things to give them peace and to make them happy. When you're in the will of God, when you're in the perfect will of God, when you're being led by the shepherd, and you're right under the shepherd's wing, and you're either on his staff, either one, when you are in the will of God, you will not want for what somebody else has got. You will not want for what others have. You will not want to seek to find comfort somewhere else when you are under the guidance of the shepherd. So many people get it so wrong. I can't stand it. It makes me mad when I hear something. Well, I'm leaving because of such and such. I'm going somewhere else. I believe it's the will of God for us to go here, me to go there. Honey, it ain't the will of God if you're mad and you're leaving because of somebody else.
Amen.
That's a heart problem. It's a personal problem with your relationship with God, is what it is. They don't realize that God's the shepherd, not them. He's the guide. And when you're with him, you will not want for anything else. You'll settle for what you have and what God has given you where you're at. I might be running off here in a few days. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. That verse, just that phrase, he maketh me to lie down in green pastures. Quick story. I was going to McDonald's the other day, and it's at the truck stop, right there at exit 159. And I come across the interstate, and I come down the hill, and I just happened to look over. And you know it's summertime, and unless it's my yard, everybody's yards are green, and the grass is pretty and watered. Mine's brown. I hope it stays brown and burnt. That way I don't have to cut grass. I use Roundup as my weed eater. And I make a big spot of it too. I hate weed eating. I hate cutting grass, cutting my yard, and you will see that Nick does not like yard work. I will plant a few flowers. I got two dogwood trees in my front yard that I bought about 3 years ago, and they was about this high when I bought them, and they just now barely making it a little bit above my head. They're still living. Every year I'll go out there and I'll kind of till up the ground a little bit and break the ground up, and I'll plant a little bit of flowers, and I'll mulch it up real good. I'll water it for about 2 or 3 days. After that, Lord, it's up to you. I'm not going to do it. But anyway, he makes me lie down in green pastures. And I was coming over the hill. I just happened to look. And you know, the truck stop, I don't know how they keep their grass so green, but they keep it green. I mean, it's pretty. And it don't never get a bit of water except for when it rains. Because it's on a hill and all that, and they don't have a sprinkler system over there. If they do, I've never seen it run. And I've been out there all times of the day and night. And there was a man, sprawled out, laying on that little hill in that green grass. His shoes was kicked to the side. His cup was laid beside him. And I said, Lord, yes, he done had a heart attack and then fell out. So me being the person that I am, I wheeled around, parked in front of the trucks. I said, I don't know, this man might try, somebody wrong with me, might try to kill me, or I don't know. So I got out and I walked up to him, and I probably got back from here to that pew. I said, hey, sir! And he jumped up. I said, you all right? He said, he was foreign, so he couldn't hardly speak English, but he said, yeah. And I said, good, and I turned around and walked back to my truck. I was leaving him alone. I did not want to provoke him for waking him up from his nap, is what he was doing. And that reminds me of that green pasture. You know, when you lay down on the grass and it's pretty and green, I don't know if you've ever done it, just sat down and just kind of relaxed when you're on the side of a hill or somewhere. If you're not, you're a city folk. You're from the city, let me rephrase that if you've not done it. But you just kind of sit down and you just kind of relax. That grass feels so good. The coolness of the ground coming up. And just the greenness and the smell of it. It reminds me that when I get overwhelmed by this world, and most of the time when you lay down on a patch of green grass or you sit down, you're usually doing it because you're tired. You want to kind of cool off for a little bit. Well, that reminds me of what our Savior does. That reminds me of God. That when we're overwhelmed by the world, that we always got a place we can go to and we can lay down and feel the coolness and the comfort that's coming off of our Savior. So many times people don't want to do that. They want to try to fix things on their own. They want to try to do the things that they want to do. But honey, if we would just lay down in that green pasture that He's given us, lay down in His arms, we would feel the coolness and the love that's coming off of Him. Because He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. And that still waters is actually exactly what it means. It's calm waters. It's peaceful waters. You ever been walking by a river or the lake, outward the lake, because the river's usually running. But you ever walk by a lake or a pond, and you just look at it, and it's in the late evening, the sun's setting over it, and it looks like glass looking across through there. It's so peaceful. That's what our Savior does. When we get wrapped up in the things of this world, when we get so busy with our lives, wondering what in the world's going on, when it seems like hell's falling down over us, all we've got to do is look at Christ and look at the calmness that He brings. What did He do to the disciples when they was out on the sea? He said, peace, be still. And what happened? The waters calmed. The waters hushed their raging. The storm quieted. And the waters and the boat just began as smooth as it wanted to be. Because Jesus stepped out and said, peace, be still. That's all it takes. When we realize that the Lord is my shepherd, and we shall not want, that He makes us to lie down in green pastures, and to lead us by the still waters, we'll realize the comfort that we have in knowing that God is the good shepherd. He is the chief shepherd. He is the great shepherd. He is the shepherd that's above all. He has the final rule and the final say of each and every one of us. Verse number 4, it says, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. This verse right here, it kind of reminds me of we're going through the valleys of life. When we get down in the valley, and God knows we're going to go through a valley. God knows we're going to go through hard times. God knows that we're going to get down so low where we don't think we're ever going to get up. And God knows. That's why it says, yea, though I walk through the valley of shadow of death. He knows that we're going to walk through places. The psalmist said, I walk through the valley of shadow of death. God knew that the psalmist was going to get as low as he could get. God knows that you and I are going to get as low as we can get, whether it's a health problem, a physical problem, a family problem, or a heart problem, or whatever type of problem it can be. God knows that we're going to walk through a valley, and God knows that we're going to get low. That's why the psalmist says, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. And it reminds me of an old Southern gospel song sung by Peg McCamey. It says, and the God of the mountain is still God in the valley. When things go wrong, He'll make them right. The same God that's on that mountaintop is the same God in that valley. I don't know if y'all ever seen Sister Peg sing that song. She's been singing it for 50 plus years probably. And every time she gets to that chorus, she'll get to singing and she'll go, He's still God! In that same part, and she'll kick them shoes off, and she's about 70-something years old. I say she's probably going on 80 years old. And she'll get up there and start running in spot and start praising God because she knows over the last 50-some years of her singing and of her life that it's the same God on the mountain and it is in the valley. The psalmist knew that in the valley he was going to walk through. He knew that he was going to get low. But praise God, hallelujah, glory be to His name. The same God that was there is the same God that was on the mountaintop. He's the same one that can help us up. He's the same one that reaches down and picks us up. Honey, I'm here to tell you, when you get so low and you think you're about to go under, look up. God's on the mountain. He's the same God on that mountain as He is in the valley when you're going through life's troubles. I don't know what kind of valley you're walking through right now. I don't know what you're going through. Honey, look up. He's the same God. Amen. Then and there. He is the same one that's going to help us, that's going to deliver us, that's going to free us from temptation and evil ways. He's the one that's going to help us in this land of giants. We preached on David a few weeks ago. David a few weeks ago on Goliath, of how he faced a giant. That's the same God today, then as it is today. In that valley that David was walking through, and you're reading the scriptures, they fought in a valley because it said the Israelites was over here and Goliath's arm was over here. And they met in the middle. It was in a valley. David knew the God that was on that mountain with him was the same God that was going to be in that valley with him. The psalmist said, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. What else does it say? I will what? No fear, no evil. So many times, I'll be honest with you, I look at this world and it does scare me. Because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's coming. If the Lord don't soon come, I don't know what my girls are going to grow up in. The way it's looking, it ain't going to be good. So I'll be honest, I'm human. But do you know what? Whether it's bad, whether it's good that comes, I've got one, the good shepherd, that's looking down. Says, son, don't worry. Don't fear, for I'm with you. Fear no evil. No matter how dark this world looks, no matter what the right things of life you're going through, we're not to fear. And I try to keep that down, and I try to keep it focused. That even though the world looks so dark, even though death's coming around us, and even so that I'm so low in the valley, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. I have the assurance of knowing that Jesus Christ is with me. He tells me He will never leave us nor forsake us. And I'm glad to know that. And what else does it say? It says, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Yes, my friend, I'm here to tell you, when you're out of the will of God, when you're doing things that you ought not be going, God carries a staff and a rod, and He's going to get you back in line. Whether it's good, whether you like it, or whether you don't like it. Some people ignore it because they say, well, we just need to do it like this, sir, and this needs to happen. Honey, one day it's going to be too late. And you might ought to check up if God keeps dealing with you about something and you keep pushing it away and you keep running. That's God with that rod and that staff trying to get your attention, trying to lead you back in the right way, but you keep going the wrong way. And how can He be your shepherd? How can you call Him your shepherd if you keep going away? If you keep going away, you keep living in the world, you keep doing the old things, you keep saying the old things, you keep partaking of the old things, you keep living in the world. How can you say that you're a child of the Father and you're a sheep of the shepherd? My friend, you better check up, you better get your heart right with God, because I knew I wasn't going to get at you in 8 minutes. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. He tries to pull us back in to comfort us. When we're going wrong, he tries to pull us back in to comfort us. It's not awesome. That rod and staff, it only comforts us, but it's to get us back in line. We all know the saying, tough love. Graceland, I know this is going to hurt you, but it's going to hurt me a lot worse. It's tough love when I got to spank my child. And she knows. I'm getting to the point now, I don't speak 2, 3, 4 times. I speak once, and she keeps on. I sneak up behind her, and I pick her little honey right up off the ground. It got the other day, she went, it's been a month or 2 ago, she went and got in the shower, and she come running back into the living room, said, Daddy, look what you did. There was a handprint on her. I spank my children. They gonna know that I'm in charge. God does the same thing to us. But just like Graceland, just that one ain't gonna fix it. God's been trying to get your attention for a few years, and you're still doing the same old, same old. Maybe it's a heart problem when it comes to God. Maybe it's a heart problem. Maybe he's not your shepherd. You just think he is, but he's really not. A lot of people, this is going on YouTube, right? Yeah, they're going to see me spanking my child. They're going to go, what kind of preacher is that? Y'all come bail me out if they lock me up for child abuse, all right? There's a fine line between child abuse and this. But anyway, it's sad to see it like that anymore. There might be some of y'all in here that don't see it like that no more. But guess what? It worked for you, so it's going to work for me. All that. Verse number 4, we said, I walk from the valley of the shadow of death. I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Verse number 5, I like. It says, thou prepares the table before me in the presence of mine enemies. I can't help but think that table, this family at Congaree Baptist Church, Gethsemane Baptist Church, Calhoun Baptist Church, St. Matthew's First Baptist Church, and all of the sister churches. I believe that's where that table's found. Before thy enemies. By people being faithful to God, and by people coming to church and people seeing your car in that church parking lot. All the people that's lost are actually your enemies because they think you're crazy for doing the things that you do. And God's prepared a table each and every Sunday morning. And I'm serving it to you. I'm giving it to you. What God has for us to eat. He says, what does he say he is? The bread of life. This is what this is.
Amen.
Food for our soul. By people seeing your car when they ride up and down Old Belleville Road, they know you're in here eating. You're supposed to be eating. You're supposed to be getting fed. That's preparing that table in front of your enemies. That's saying something about your lifestyle. That's saying something about your character because you take time to come to church. And people see that. But can I add this in there right quick? There's more than one time to get fed at Congaree Baptist Church. We do meet twice a week. Same feeding. Same bread. He's your shepherd. You say. Are you eating at his table every chance you get? Some people say, I don't have to go to church. Hogwash. Get your heart right if you want to go to church. That's point one. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. How is your cup going to run over if you don't come and sit and feast at the table of God? This is the table. Let me rephrase that. This is the table. I'm serving the bread of life to you. What are you going to do with it? You just only want to get just an appetizer on Sunday mornings and forget about the rest? Or are you going to be faithful to God and your shepherd? Choice is yours. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. I can tell you to come to church, whether you come or you. It's up to you. If you can get peace and knowing that you're sitting at home doing nothing and you could be at church, let me know what you're doing, because the same peace I would show up sometimes. I call Mike Priest, Johnny Priest, Mr. Larry Priest, Bob Priest. I ain't going to be there. I got peace to stay at home. How would y'all like that? Wonder what some people would say about that. Ooh, I can hear it now. The preacher wasn't at church Sunday. Y'all should see some looks out here. I love it, praise God, hallelujah. I shall not want. I get that in the right spot. Oh, goodness. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Is surely goodness and mercy following you? Are you dwelling in the house of the Lord? Because God's been good to us. The least we can do is be faithful to the shepherd and serve him and eat from that table that he's prepared for us in front of our enemies. The Bible says, if they hate you, remember they hated me before. That's what Jesus said. This world is not your friend. It's your enemy. Nothing good comes out of this world. Mike, I'm going to who's playing something. Nothing good comes out of this world and out of the rest of this world. Remember, the good shepherd always gives peace before doing something. He don't give peace if it's an anger problem or if you're mad. The good shepherd will have you where you do not want. And you will not try to find peace elsewhere. You will only find it in him. And remember, even though we're going through the valleys, he's the same God in the valley as he is on the mountain. I just can't get over that song. If you've never heard of it, go YouTube it, Google it, find somebody, get it. God on the mountain. Same God in the valley. If things go wrong, he'll make them right. My friend, I'm here to tell you that the Lord is our shepherd. We have a table set before us. Are you taking of the table? Are you getting enough to actually satisfy your needs? Or are you just getting a little taste where you think it's satisfied? So many times we can be deceived by this old world. And we just get a taste and think we're all right. Because the psalmist says, oh, taste and see. The Lord is good. Sometimes that's all we get is just a little taste. And we actually don't see the goodness of God. Because we got a heart problem. And we'd rather do other things than be in the house of the Lord. This is the table that he's prepared. If you find elsewhere, find other things to do, honey, I don't check up. God, family, others, you. It's not family, me, others, God. It's God, family, others, me. You're on the bottom. God's on the top. Serve God faithfully. He is the shepherd. And if He's your shepherd, you will not move. God will provide and God will make a way if you'll stay in His will. Let us pray. Father, we come to you now, Lord. Just thank you for this time, this opportunity that you've given us once again to come to your house and worship. Father, I ask that you'll touch and you'll work in a mighty way, Father. Lord, I pray that the message found a lodging place in someone's heart this morning, Father. Lord, I ask that you'll touch and you'll work, Father. Lord, that we can always realize, Lord, that you are the shepherd. Lord, that we won't put others or anything before you, but we'll make you first and priority of our life. Lord, we'll realize, Lord, that you are the shepherd, that you've got that you'll fulfill each and every one of our needs that we won't walk. Lord, that when we're going through the dark times of life, through the valleys, that you're there with us, guiding us, leading us, and directing us. Father, this is your invitation. Have your will and your way, Father. Lord, I pray that we'll partake from the table that you have set before us, Father. Lord, as the bread of life is broken on Sunday mornings and Wednesday nights here at Congaree, Father, I pray that your people will feast from it, Father, and eat from it, Lord, as we feed them. Lord, I ask that you'll touch and you'll work in a mighty way. This is your invitation. Save the one that's nearest tail and reclaim the best. Find all this I ask in Jesus' name I pray. Amen and amen. Everyone stand.